Hey guys, welcome to At The Backdoor. For this video, we will debunk sex myths. So I would read a list of sex myths, tapos explain mo kung if it's correct or not. Okay. So for the first one, you can't get pregnant the first time you have sex. I've never heard of this.
Oh my god, you can get pregnant. There are risks to that. It really depends if you're going to use proper protection. Like, anyone who's stupid enough to not use protection might get pregnant. Like, there's no certainty that you will get pregnant, but you might get pregnant with unsafe sex practices.
Yeah. So wear a condom.
Yeah, condoms are a must. They're rubber.
The first time you have sex, you should bleed.
No, that's a myth. I mean, bleed because you're a virgin. So virginity is a myth. It's not necessarily a basis of someone's worth. How do you know if someone's a virgin? It's because of the hymen, but apparently it's just a social construct. So when you have sex for the first time and you bleed, it means that you're not properly lubricated. So you're not properly turned on. That's why your vagina or the muscles there are too constricted. So you have to at least get turned on, or if you're not turned on, if you're not so wet because of some reasons, always use lube.
Okay.
Bleeding during sex isn't fun.
Next, you can't get pregnant on your period.
There is a chance that you may, because sperm can live inside for a few days. So even if you're on your period now and then you had unprotected sex and then he comes inside you, there's no guarantee that it's not going to stay there for a long time. So err on the side of caution and always use protection, unless that you're on the pill or anything of the sort. So just make sure that you don't come inside. Don't use the you're in your period excuse to come inside the person.
Yeah. And pati
risky.
pre-cum can also impregnate someone.
There are less risks, but there are times then if you already come, the guy already has come and then he goes again, of course, because there's leftover semen from the last ejaculation. Of course, if he gets turned on again and there's pre-ejaculate, of course, there's no guarantee that it doesn't have semen. Yeah.
Nice girls don't enjoy sex.
We're
nice girls.
We're nice girls. It depends on what it means to be nice. Everybody enjoys sex. I mean, what? What kind of sex is that?
Okay, next. Older people have less sex or less enjoyable sex.
It depends, because sometimes people see it as monotonous already. So when you're with a partner and you're always having sex with them, of course it's going to be monotonous. So at times it's like, okay, let's not have sex because it's always you. Or there's not much excitement anymore. So it's not generally about that. Some people or some older generations have really good sex and frequent sex, just as long as they're motivated, there's something new, there's something that excites both of them.
Next one is, if your handwriting is heavy, it means you're good at sex.
The pause?
Naniniwala dito.
There's no guarantee na dahil mabigat yung sulat mo, you'll be good in sex. What if mabigat yung sulat mo and then mabigat ang kamay mo during sex? That wouldn't be so good. I don't know. Feeling ko lang.
If you are younger, you are tighter down there.
God, that's such a myth. I mean, the vagina is a muscle, so it can be exercised. I mean, the thing there is tightness depends on the person. Just because you're young doesn't mean it's tight. there are Kegel muscles that are there, and then you can use exercises to tighten. But the thing there is, why do we always think about how tight the person is? If it's too tight, how can the cock go inside? That's a question. Diba? If it's too tight, then paano siya makakapasok?
Yeah.
So I guess it's a myth. We can't do that.
Okay, ito naman. If you had more sex, you are loose.
No! That's a must! I mean, like, why? I mean, just isipin mo na lang. If a woman gives birth, diba? Of course, because you give birth to a baby, parang maluwag ka because, of course, something big went out of you. But because it's a muscle, it goes back to its shape after a while. Parang lang, when you have sex with a bigger cock, of course, humulma yung shape nun sa'yo. So, once na another person fucks you and then you come from this to a little smaller, of course your muscles is different, but it goes back to its shape where it regularly is. Baka mamaya hindi lang endowed yung kasama mo kaya feeling niya loose.
Sorry, siya pala may problema.
Siya may problema, hindi ikaw, girl.
Okay, if you have big boobs, it's because a lot of people have touched it.
What? Dahil ba minamasahe ng ibang tao yung boobs? Ganun ba yun?
So wala pa pala nakahawak sa boobs ko.
No. No, it's a matter of genes. I mean, pag lumaki boobs mo, di, baka yung nag-touch sa'yo is surgeon. Kaya lumaki. Uy, totoo naman, di ba? May humawak sa'yo, di lumaki.
Okay, yung next. If your pee doesn't make noise, it means you're not a virgin.
Why? Baka nahihiya lang. Kasi may kasama. Parang syempre, when you're with another person, bawal humihi ng malakas. Demure
Shy muna siya.
Pa-demure muna.
Next is most women only orgasm through vaginal sex.
Sometimes women don't even come from vaginal sex. So there are many types of orgasms. There is vaginal, clitoral, anal, even body orgasms. Mind orgasms.
Yeah,
pwede rin,
like sa nipples
orgasms.
lang,
Yeah. So there are many different ways, and it's not just the vagina. Maybe people think that it's almost always about penetration, but it's not. There's always an extension of, you know, the body to see as a big erogenous zone, so you can just play with it and explore and then see if you can orgasm in different parts as well.
Next is the best sex is sex that lasts for hours.
No, do you know how that hurts? You know, if you have sex for hours, you know how dry it would be and how tiring it is. It doesn't matter how long you have sex. It matters. The most enjoyable sex you will have is with a partner you really trust and someone you enjoy spending time with. And sex doesn't equal, you know, having to finish with an orgasm. Sometimes you just love being with the other person, and sex just becomes an activity you both enjoy. So that becomes enjoyable when you're with a person and you're like, yeah, I had fun with you.
Next is, if you have a mole near your sex organ, that means you are good at sex.
God, what does this? Who writes these things? I mean, siguro there's just stigma, but it doesn't matter what kind of moles you have. Oh, but just make sure that the moles that are in that area aren't STDs, right? I mean, just check if your moles aren't really moles, just because if you're having fun and then you have moles that don't necessarily or aren't necessarily really moles but are STDs, you have to have that checked out.
Okay, last question from me. Sex or chocolates?
Both at the same time. Well, you know, why can't you enjoy both? Like having, you know, eating some chocolates while having someone have sex with you. Oh, that would be amazing. Oral fixation and then yeah.
Okay, that's it. If you have any more weird sex myths, comment down below. We would love to hear it. Oh, please watch our main video about BDSM. It will be linked down below.